This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Don't be afraid to take the baby steps. It's another day, don't forget, 'cause just a prayer away. Don't give up now, trust the process and keep learning. And if you need a friend, we're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, 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 together as a family in faith and melody.
Hello, hello, and welcome back, everyone. I'm Belle here in the United Kingdom, and this is INC Radio's Faith and Melody, where we have meaningful conversations and inspiring Iglesia ni Cristo original music. And joining me today also,
Hi everyone, I'm Henry here in Germany. Now, on our show today, we're going to talk about leaders and followers, right? There are those who take directions and instructions very well. They're great at executing the detailed steps to complete a variety of tasks. There are those who are great at providing clear direction as they see the end goal, they know how to remove the barriers along the way, and they know how to motivate all the members on the team. And today we'll talk about the different roles that comprise a team. We'll share our experiences on finding success with others and remembering that the most important role is our faith and our God-given election. But first, let's get started with the first song for today entitled Keeping On with Great Faith.
Each day's a struggle to get by, holding my pain and hurt inside. And my God knows how hard I try. So before Him I kneel and confide. After weathering these storms, I'm lying broken and torn. My Father knows I need to heal. He gon' send me a spirit. His love I'm gon' feel. So no matter what happens to me, I'll still be serving my Father Almighty. Though these seasons gon' change and this world gon' get strange, I'ma keep on keeping on, keeping on and saying nothing happened to me. I'll still be serving my Father Almighty. Though the seasons may change and this world gon' get strange, I'ma keep on keeping on.
I've been trying hard, been trying so hard, trying to keep it together. Now I got both arms wide open, tears flowing, looking up and singing at the top of my lungs. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Keep me strong no matter what. I'ma keep on keeping on, using every ounce of strength that's in me. Serve what I've got like this.
These seasons gon' change and this world gon' get strange. I'ma keep on keeping on, keeping on. So no matter what may happen to me, I'll still be serving my Father Almighty. Though the seasons may change and this world gon' get strange, I'ma keep on keeping on till I finish my race.
In this world we are powerless, like the gods that break apart.
they look down on us. That's just part of our story. For we trust in God and no man will take glory. And that time will surely come when we'll see God's will be done. We'll be taken along to His holy kingdom. So no matter what may happen to me, I'll still be serving God, Father Almighty. Though these seasons don't change and this world don't get strange, I'ma keep on keeping on singing clear rain. I'ma keep on keeping on singing clear rain. I'ma keep on keeping on till I finish my
Good
Well,
morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. This is INC Radio's Faith and Melody, where it is currently 12:10 a.m. over there in our main studio in the Philippines. Now, later on in the show, we'll share our thoughts and our experiences regarding leadership, teamwork, and the importance of always choosing positivity in how we communicate, because nobody is perfect. Sometimes misunderstandings and other barriers get in the way. But if we work together, we learn together to sharpen our communication skills, our technical skills, and help each other to grow even spiritually. We can collectively all become better people along the way and learn more about who you are and where you fit in. Let's make today's show meaningful as we talk about today's topic, the role you were made for. And on today's show, we have a guest joining us today. She is also there in, I'll let her tell her where she is. So go ahead and, Ariane, please introduce yourself for today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ariane, and I'm from London. And guess what? I'm one of Arabelle sisters. And every single time they see us, like the three of us together, they're always like, "Oh, who's older?" And I don't know if I should feel offended or not.
I think
But
that's
it's fine.
either way. I mean,
How are you
depends
guys?
who's
How are you, Henry?
we're all good. We're good here in all the way here in Germany. It's pretty hot here. It's I think it's almost what is Celsius, 27 degrees Celsius or so. It's pretty hot.
wow.
And I'm wearing this suit. So I have a fan blowing on me. How's the weather there like for you, Belle?
Well, here in London right now is a bit gloomy, but the highest has been today is 22 degrees, so it's not as bad. But it's not as sunny. Like earlier it was sunny, but then it just became gloomy again. I mean, it's our norm here anyways. But yes, around like 13 to 20 degrees today, so it's not as cold. Like it's not as hot, but it's not too cold either. So yeah, it's quite a nice weather actually. And um yes, with that said, I feel like um with the three of us, I don't know if you know, Henry, Ariane is very lively. Like she likes to laugh a lot.
No, I'm shy.
I can tell.
No,
It's a
honestly,
bunso
no,
thing.
it depends.
I think it's a bunso thing to just be
Uh,
always laughing and always smiling. So it'll be a battle of the bunsos today as we have our playful and careful discussions about working as a team. And just a quick shout out to those who are in our chat today. We see Ate Care there. We see Camario. We see Rachel Inocencio. Who's that? Someone very special. Oh, I'm gonna take this time. This is a little a little biased of me to say happy anniversary to my wife. We have been married for 14 years. Today is our 14-year anniversary. So shout
Happy.
out to Mr. and Mrs. Inocencio for our 14th anniversary. Before we begin the show, uh, and yes, and this is how we are celebrating our anniversary, Faith and Melody here today. So
Oh,
shout out to all those who are in our chat as well as Nathan Russell, Riza, all the way in Berlin, and all those other Lucilla Maranan there in local of Houston, Texas. Join us in our kickoff chat that we are about to start right now as we begin our topic, Kuya Tech. If you can please show as we are about to begin our kickoff chat.
In other words, this is our life transform. Let us know if it's something that you're willing to take up as a
Kickoff
challenge.
chat.
okay. So since our topic today is about like leadership and your role in a team, are you more of a leader or a follower? So let's start off with our guest for today. So Arian, are you more of a leader or a follower?
I feel like in life. But honestly, it depends because for work, I feel like I could possibly be both. I'm currently a head nurse, so in a way, I'm the one leading people under my care, but also I got managers and management above me, so I'm still following. Like it's half half, I guess.
Okay. um I think that's also good that you get to experience both. And but I didn't get really your question though, like are you more of a leader or a follower?
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
you're answering
ah.
me.
mm, I feel like I like being more a follower than being a leader, just because I I'm shy. Like honestly, people that know me, they think I'm like extroverted, all that. But honestly, I'm not. Like my sisters know. Like whenever we go out, sometimes I can't even like order, but like I can do it. But I rather them do it because like I'm shy. But then if I have like friends that are more introverted than I am, then I tend to do it. So in a way, it depends on the situations. But personal liking, I rather be a follower than a leader. I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's just like more laid back, right? And what about you, Henry? Like are you more of a leader or a follower?
It depends on what I'm doing. I have to be the driver in the car, or I get car sick. So I need to be the leader when it comes to traveling. But in when it comes to if I had to choose between either or, um, I'm at a point in my life where I like to see other people succeed. So I would rather lead them to success and watch them lead themselves to victory, if that makes sense. Because when you're a leader, you're also that you can also be a teacher to some extent. You're teaching someone how to do certain things. You're giving them confidence. You're giving them motivation. If they're having a bad day, if they're not feeling in the right frame of mind, and you apply leadership to get them back onto a good path or a better frame of mind and a positive attitude, and then you're leading them to lead themselves, if that makes sense. Because as a follower, I mean, we'll talk more about this in our conversation, but when you're a follower, you wait for instructions, and instructions do come, and you do your best to follow them. But with all the things that are in my mind, especially I'm a little older now, and the things that I've been through, I can share experiences that can guide people to make better choices, to make wiser decisions, because I've already lived certain things that they don't have to walk through some of those muddy waters. I can say, no, take this path instead. You don't have to do that anymore because I've already been through it for you. Yeah, I'm talking a little too much, but yeah, I would rather be. I think I'd rather be a leader instead. I'm gonna go right back to you, Belle. What would you rather be?
Well, it's quite hard to, choose just one, but as someone who experienced both, like there's both pros and cons to it, right? Like, at least when you're a leader, you know that you can get things done. Like, and it's just easier sometimes to manage because you're the one in control. And I think, it's just easier to feel at peace when you're in control. But at the same time, it's just hard also to handle like the stress of everything. And yeah, if I were to choose, I think it really, really depends on the situation. But when I can, I try to lay back a bit. So maybe like follower, but like I don't know. I think it really depends. I can't really choose. Sorry. It's funny how I ask Arian for a specific answer though.
No, but I feel like, I mean, knowing you, I mean, yeah, you're both, but then you're prone more toward the being like a leader.
Uh,
Like you're more exposed to that, and I mean, you get things done. You know, sometimes in a scary way. I'm joking, I'm joking. Not a scary way, but like strict, like, gotta do this, gotta do that, giving the task, which is good, like as a leader. And honestly, as Henry mentioned earlier, regarding like followers, at some point, learning also like how to become a leader like themselves, and leading to success. It's a good thing also like to be followers, because in a way you're growing and learning from your own leaders, and from what you learn from them you may apply it in a way of you becoming a leader yourself.
yeah, that's a really good analogy. And I think it really also depends on the environment that you're in, right? So when you can like uplift someone, like, when you're a leader, like I think one thing that I've heard is when you're strong, like when you're strong enough, you don't put others down, you lift them up. So I think as a leader, that's something that um is really like you will come across with. But with that said, I see there are a lot of people joining us today and sharing their thoughts as well, if they're um a leader or a follower. But yes, Henry, would you like to read out some of the messages there, please?
Yes. We said a lot of greetings to those who are in our chat. So just repeat some of them from Nathan Russell, tuning in from Fort Worth, Texas. Uh, Lucila Maranan from Houston, Texas, and we have Mario Oka. They're in Brixtonville District, Caloocan North, and Paul Jacob Arese, a very familiar name we always see, local of Heathrow District of Burton South. Ate Care says Aloha Ohana, and she's our host for the Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday show. So don't forget to tune in later on the week for Wednesdays and Thursdays on Faith and Melody. Tamara Stevens, a new name that we haven't seen here for before, and she says she's more of a leader now that she's a CWS president and have been a member of the church for 26 years now. So welcome to Sister Tamara for joining us in our broadcast today. Uh, Brother Nate says leader, but a good leader is also a good follower. Very true statement. My wife says both. It depends on the situation. Yes, we'll talk about more about how you can be both a good leader and a follower at the same time. Brother RJ there in Stuttgart, Germany says, good day po mga kapatid. And he also says, happy anniversary. So thank you to Brother RJ. And Riza, very musically talented, by the way. Riza says, I used to be a leader during my high school and college days because of my competitiveness. But when I turned 20 and started working, I wanted to be just a follower. Like I didn't want a higher position. And I will say, we will talk about that more in our conversation because being a leader, it does take a lot of energy. it does. It does require a lot of food. To be honest, you have to eat a lot on your stressful days because you are burning a lot more mental power. And personally, I'm an introvert. I really don't like to talk a lot. But when I do talk, I will talk because sometimes I just have to talk, like here on the show. And sometimes there are things that we just want to share. We just want to use our platform and our voice to inspire others. So sometimes we get out of our comfort zone to do hopefully the right thing. So that being said, I think we can from there conclude our kickoff chat and yeah, we'll take it from there. Clear Tech, that concludes our kickoff chat.
Our icebreaker is titled Life Storm. Let us know if it's something that you're willing to take up as a
Kickoff
challenge.
chat.
All right, so stay tuned with us as we listen to two songs. First one is Shine, followed by Faith in Our Hearts. So stay tuned here with us on Faith and Melody. We'll be right back.
Oh, we come from all over the world, for God's love has spread. We're all brothers and sisters, we're INC. You and me, together we're strong in unity. With one voice we praise our Father, for we're INC. Lift your voice, O daughter of Zion, praise our Father up above. Lift your torch of salvation, shine bright as the sun. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. We are members of God's true nation, members of the Church of Christ. Our God sent a messenger for His will to be done, so that we'll receive salvation and eternal life.
Stand up and defend the faith, whatever may come. Let God's words live in us for INC.
Lift your voice, O daughter of Zion, praise our Father up above. Lift your torch of salvation, shine bright as the sun. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. We are members of God's true nation, members of the Church of Christ. Lift your voice, O daughter of Zion, praise our Father up above. Lift your torch of salvation, shine bright as the sun. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. We are members of God's true nation, members of the Church of Christ. Thank the Lord God for His unfailing love. We'll stand by our faith until the Lift your voice, O daughter of Zion, praise our Father up above. Lift your torch of salvation, shine bright as the sun. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. We are members of God's true nation, members of the Church of Christ. Lift your voice, O daughter of Zion, praise our Father up above. Lift your torch of salvation, shine bright as the sun. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. We are members of God's true nation, members of the Church of Christ. Lift your voice, O daughter of Zion, praise our Father up above. Lift your torch of salvation, shine bright as the sun. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. Come on, let's shine, shine, shine. We are members of God's true nation, members of the Church of Christ. Of the Church of Christ. Of the Church of Christ.
We stand tall on
defeated, victorious, and strengthened. Our strength comes from God, the Almighty Father. Through the faith in our hearts, He will grant our prayers. Through His mighty hand, we shall help the world to better understand, to let them know His word. We'll keep our faith strong and ready for anything that may come into our lives, that may try to strike us down. But through the faith in our hearts, we will conquer all. Through His mighty hands, we shall help the world to better understand, to let them know His words. We'll keep our faith strong and ready for anything that may come into our lives, that may try to strike us down. But through the faith in our hearts, we will conquer all. We'll keep our faith strong and ready for anything that may come into our lives, that may try to strike us down. But through the faith in our hearts, we will conquer all. Through the faith in our hearts, we will conquer all.
So today's topic or today's title of our broadcast is The Role You Were Made For. Now, earlier in our kickoff chat, we talked about leaders, we talked about followers. Or which one are you? Are you a leader or are you a follower? And we all have different roles. You can be both. You can be both at the same time. And there's nothing wrong. And so before we start our conversation, we actually have to introduce our other panelists for today. Not only do we have Arian, but we also have a familiar face joining us. So, familiar face, please introduce yourself one more time.
Hi, Henry. Hi, Belle. Hi, Ariane. And hi, listeners and viewers. I'm Chanel Manalili, all the way from Frankfurt, Germany.
Thank you for joining us again, Chanel. And I'm sure you heard part of our discussion already. And a real quick shout out to Brother Denzel Malapit there, joining us all the way from the District of Virginia and the Carolinas. Thank you for joining us, Brother Denzel. And as we begin our topic conversation today, there are those who prefer to take charge, and there are those who prefer to be taken charge of. And we can all agree that we really need both. But which one are you? So, first question we're going to ask is, in a team, in a unit or organization, what do you think makes a good follower? Now, there are those who lead a team, and there are those who are members of the team. Now, what makes a good team member? What makes a leader say, you know what, I like leading you. You're fun to lead. You're easy to lead. You make leading an enjoyable process. So let's ask the question to Chanel first, since she just had arrived. Uh, what do you think makes a good team member or a good follower?
I think what makes a good team member is someone who is flexible, someone who knows how to be very understanding and does what is best for the good of the team or for the group. And I guess in a sense it's pretty much someone who's very aware of not just themselves but the people around them. So I guess you can't be selfish if you are a follower.
That's a very good answer. To be flexible, to be aware, to be pretty much knowing that you are in a team and there are needs to that team and you respond to whatever it is that you're needed for. Arian, what can you say about Chanel's answer and maybe add your own answer to it too? What makes a good follower?
I feel like the willingness to be able to submit, because sometimes, like following, it's hard to, like, there's things that people might not wanting to fully follow, or they don't fully agree with it. um but it doesn't mean that they're not gonna follow, but it's more on they're gonna be more like, as Chanel mentioned, understanding and seeing a different perspective of it instead, but also uh, like being a good follower. Like some of the traits may be that uh, being also patient, because leaders, just because they're leaders doesn't mean they have it all figured out. So having patience um, can help leaders to, lead in a way where they don't feel as overwhelmed, but instead followers are there to make the team more effective.
I like that answer because there's a lot of pressure on leaders already. And sometimes the expectation is you know everything, you can see everything. But when you're a follower, maybe follower, we can use the word follower, but a member of the team, you're not the leader, but you're a team member. And you just want to clarify some things. And if you want to ask some questions to get a better understanding of the situation so that you're more on board, it's not always about like I'm challenging you, leader, because I have all these questions. No, it's not about that at all. Sometimes it's just like, uh, why are we doing this? Can you tell me what? Like, oh, okay, now I get it. And then you actually have more ideas to contribute to the situation. But I will say, if we are in that situation and we want to clarify, the demeanor and how we ask those questions can make a big difference. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing it this way? Right? It's not gonna come out in a positive way. Like it can make you sound like you're questioning a leader. But if you say it in a way that is more of a lighthearted, and you're smiling when you say it, and you're actually with the intent to not make the leader feel stuck. You're asking it in a very supportive way. You're asking in a very I just need clarity so that I can really help you and be on board. I'm not against you in any way. I just want to be able to see where we're going because it does help to see a clearer picture. You have anything more to add, Chanel? It kind of looked like you had a little bit more to add to that, and if not, it's okay. Okay, you have nothing more to add to that. Um, Belle, what responses do you have, and/or are there any comments that you'd like to read from our team live chat?
I think earlier in our team live chat, I think um Nathan Russell said here, leader, like in terms of our kickoff chat, he said he's more keen to being a leader, but he said also here a good leader is also a good follower. So I really agree with that. And with that said, um, to add to what's been mentioned, it is true, and it goes both ways, right? Having good communication and mutual respect, I think that what makes a good team. And in terms of what makes a good follower is, I think, it's someone who really is proactive, like it has been mentioned earlier, and gives high regard not only to the leader but also to the instructions, like for the goal of the team, right? And Ivy, said here, you can only inspire others to lead when you're prepared to follow them. So it's not only possible to be both, but essential to be a leader and a follower at the same time. And I really agree with that. And Paul Eros said here, being able to listen and take feedback on board and follow instruction. So yeah, that's been what's been mentioned so far. And we also want to shout out to um, uh, Jared Rombo saying hello there from the District of Northern Africa. We also have Alien um, saying happy viewing as well from the local Barcelona district of Spain. And we also have Adara saying hello to Henry and Chanel. And we also have Rubik Joshua joining us today, as well as Kaviki Domopoy saying hello to everyone there. And Riza said here, I think a good follower is someone who follows but doesn't stay silent when something goes wrong. Someone who also shares their suggestions thoughtfully so that the leader doesn't feel diminished. And yes, I think that's that so far from our Ohana, Henry.
Yeah, so I think we are all kind of, in a good way, yeah, jumping the gun because we're going to talk about being a leader and a follower at the same time. And you really have to possess both qualities no matter what role you're in. And we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. But let's go to our next question. I think Arian had already kind of mentioned a little bit about this. Um, why do you think it might be difficult for some to be a follower? Because when you're a follower, or maybe the follower is not the right term, but a member of a team, right? You're following the leader, so we call it follower. But when you're a member of the team, uh, and you're not the one leading, there are some who might find it difficult to be led, and it might not always be about bad qualities. It might just be that they're used to not being uh, the one who is just a team member. Maybe they're used to being leading. What can you say about that area? And I'll let you go first this time. Why do you think it can be hard for someone to just be a team member rather than to be the leader?
I feel like it's also because they may want to be more in control with whatever they have to do. For example, if there's like a project and they're not the one leading, but they might have suggestions, right? But sometimes those suggestions may be rejected, right? But they still have to follow the leader. So whatever, like the final decision is still gonna be there, like from the leader, right? But sometimes I feel like if you know where you stand in the team, I think you should be able to accept like your role, because if not, then why are you there? But like you know, uh, um, everyone has a role within the team, so like you have to know what you like, why, like the first reason of like you being there, but also just because you're a follower doesn't mean you're not important. Actually, you might be one of the keys to make it work, because a team itself, you need people like to help each other in making everything effective and making things work. And by that, like the follower should be more. I don't have the word. My brain is a bit stuck. But yes.
No, I think I think Chanel has the word. So before I ask Chanel the same question, and she's going to add on to what you're saying, I think you guys are in the same train of thought. Um, but yes, I mean the title of our broadcast is "The Role You Were Made For." So why are you there if you're not gonna follow when I like your way of putting it. It's very interesting of how you're putting it. Uh, and Chanel, I'll let you actually chime in. One of the difficulties of being just a team member and not the actual leader.
No, I agree 100% with what Ariane was saying about like some people who have difficulty. Sometimes it may be personal, sometimes they're just used to doing things the old way and they can't really adapt as well, or maybe they feel like they can do it better. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, exactly like what Ariane said, like, if you think you can do it better, why are you there in the first place? You know, you should be striving to work hard towards a leadership role and, apply your knowledge elsewhere instead of being a follower. So, yeah, I think Ariane said everything that I wanted to say. I just wanted to emphasize, like, if you feel that as a follower that you can help make things more efficient, you can help make a better change, then why not? Then go for it, because it's better for you to take charge and take initiative than to drag the team down. Otherwise, you just have to work on yourself and work on being flexible and adapting. It's really those only two solutions that I can think of if you feel that you have difficulty in being a follower.
Yes, I feel like
Yes.
oh sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like there's people, because it's also about personality. Like if someone is much more independent and they like, taking the lead, even if you're a follower, sometimes you're um what is it called? Like not going with the flow, but it's more on you're prone to use those traits that you're used to of you being independent in oh I'll take charge, I'll do it, like sometimes it's like that, but not because oh no I'm so good, like I'm better than everyone else, like why am I following, it's not like that. It's more on oh I could potentially like be a leader. It's more on you trying to see the growth of it. Like, does it make sense?
Yes, yes. I will try to translate what you were saying. Because I would say for myself, I used to be a very independent worker who always finds solutions on my own. And it's not just because I had a hard time asking for help, it's because there are some things that we just work better on your own by yourself. You're leading and you're following your own self. So when you're put into a situation where you are a team member and your ideas do not dominate 100% of the project or whatever task you're on, sometimes it might be hard to swallow uh, what you are trying to contribute, because now you have to compromise your contribution to the whole team. And the leader, for the most part, as the leader, in whichever method that they are elected to be a leader, they have the final say because it is their role to deliver the objective to wherever that final product has to be delivered. And so when someone wants to be a leader instead and has trouble being a follower, and this is a little bit of my answer, it's sometimes it's just uh, they feel they could do more. Like Chanel said, sometimes it's something that they want to do, and if they are ambitious enough, you have to remember there's always going to be another project. There's always going to be another time. There's always going to be a tomorrow to lead something else. And then that will put you into a situation of, wow, this leadership thing is not as easy as I thought. Before we get into that question, I'm going to turn it over to Belle. I'm seeing some answers in our live chat.
Yeah, so we have here Ivy saying being a follower can be difficult because it requires relinquishing control. It means trusting someone else's vision even when you might disagree with their methods or decisions. And I think also it's hard to let go of like the suggestion or the idea that you had initially as well, like when you're a follower. And sometimes also um it might be difficult due to how the message or the instruction was conveyed to you. It might be, or the task itself might be also something that is out of your control. So maybe that's why it might be difficult. And uh, Riza here said, on to add on to our topic, she said here a leader can't be called a leader without team members, and that's true. The team members are as important. And RJ said here, a good leader supports the team, communicates clearly, listens to others, and leads good example. Stay positive during challenges and help the team achieve its goals together. And Jared Rambo said here, it might be difficult for some to be a follower because they might not be fitting into the position that they were made that made that was made for them.
All right. So, and now I think we all want to, we're naturally already drifting towards the leader now. So that actually goes to the next question. Our next question is, what do you think makes a good leader? And Brother RJ already had an answer. I think he read my mind. He already put what a good leader is. So the question we asked to our viewers or those in our live chat, what makes a good leader? This time we'll start off with Chanel. What makes a good leader, Chanel?
There's so many points that I want to say, and I'm trying to compile them all in my head so I could speak it clearly. But I remember one example that our minister gave a long time ago, it was a couple years back, and he once said that a good leader knows how to serve the people. And I have taken that to heart ever since I've heard that advice because of the fact that like when you're a leader, usually you think like, oh, I get to tell people what to do and they will automatically listen and obey me. No, being a leader, you are a people person. You understand and listen to the people's needs before your own. And although there may be plans or ideas you already have, compromise is one of your biggest traits that you should have. You need to learn how to be creative with the way you compromise because although you have a plan or idea, remember that you work with other people who come from different walks of life, who have different personality types. Being a leader is not easy. It's really not. And that's why I think that before you become a leader, you should learn how to be a good follower first so that you know how it feels like to be in the place of someone that you are taking care of, that you are guiding. So, really have to learn your people skills, learn your empathy skills, and also learn how to stand your ground as well. Because you can't really lead if you're unsure of what you're saying, or if you're even questioning what you're telling others, to do, the instructions that are given. So, not only do you have to be a people person, but you also have to be confident as well.
I like that answer, and I'm gonna follow up that question to Arian. Arian, how important is confidence when you're a leader?
I feel like no matter if you're introverted or not, or like you're shy, when you're a leader, you gotta lock in. Like no matter what the situation is, I feel like you need to lock in for the team to have the best results out of like outcome out of whatever you guys are working for. So confidence, yes, confidence, but also like you have to also be humble because as much as you're a leader, with the confidence that you have leading the people under your care, being humble um, helps you and guides you as well because as Chanel mentioned earlier, oh, they don't think that they're better than anyone in the team, but it's more on they're more open on listening to their team members, but also in accepting all the ideas and perspectives that they are gonna share. um, and yeah.
No, very nicely said. Because as you were saying that, I was thinking in my head as already that yes, you have to be confident and you have to know the things that you know that you're expected to know. Yes, you want to do your best to know as much as you can. But to be humble and say I don't know sometimes it can be a very honest thing that your team will appreciate. Like for example, you thought of 100 things on a particular project, but one of your team members says, "But boss, sir, or but Mr. So and so, what about this? And you know, the leader will say, you know what? I never thought about that. What do you think about that? What would you suggest? And you know that provides the the team member an opportunity to be a leader in that moment, because that leader, that bigger boss, you know, is being honest about the situation. You know what, there's something that I may have overlooked, but I'll pass this responsibility or this uh, possibility, this opportunity to you to solve this problem. What is your suggestion? And that's another way to have a leader, a future leader, to be able to express themselves, because a lot of people, they do want to speak, they do want to share an idea, but sometimes they can be a little shy, and that might be the right moment where they feel they have the right answer, and they can definitely own up to the situation and take charge, and that's how you make a new leader. Belle, I saw a lot of comments come in. So if you can go ahead and read some.
Joshua Rubik said here, you can lead by example. And Denzel said, a good leader can translate vision into reality. And I really love that comment. He also added here, if you want to lead the people, love the people. If you want to save the people, serve the people. And uh, he Joshua Rubik also added here, good leadership leads first by inspiring others through your actions and not your mouth. And Paul Arista said, a good leader has good planning and organization skills. They are clear communicators and take care of the people under their care. And Kaadara said here, emotional intelligence is so vital in being a good leader. And Jared Rombo said, a good leader is the one who has traits and qualities required for that position. And to add to what's been mentioned as well, like I really agree with, caring for your team, caring for the people, because um, as a leader, you're the one who sets the tone of the team, like the team dynamics. And if you want to have you know, a good communication between you know everyone in the team, then you should be able to have good communication as well first, right? Like practice what you preach when you're a leader. And you're also not thinking only about the goal itself, but also, yeah, the people that you are working with, because that really makes the difference. I know that at the end of the day, you need to resort to means or source or resources that you need to get those tasks done with. But at the same time, the process of things is also very important when you're trying to achieve something. And yes, I really agree with what's been mentioned so far, Henry.
Yes, the process. I think for me, the leader needs to know the process. When you have a mastery of that process, and you can work with your team to make them fit themselves into what part of the process they would contribute to, so that no one feels left out, no one feels excluded, nobody feels left behind. But that is a lot of pressure. That is a lot of awareness, a lot of responsibility for a leader to not make anyone feel left behind. So there is difficulty in that. So this leads to the next question. We'll start off with Arian first. Why do you think it might be difficult for some to want to be the leader, Arian?
As mentioned earlier, I feel like being a leader might be quite overwhelming, not just because of the task that they have on them, but also the the fact that the team is entrusting, the final decisions, but also the outcome of whatever they're working for. Because sometimes, like you're working on this specific project, and uh, sometimes is you don't always have the results that you wanted, right? But it's also how you see them, like it's the aftermath of it as well, like how you take that. uh, Sometimes it's also uh, the way the followers would see you as a good example as well. Um, but being a leader, apart from being overwhelming, uh, it's a lot. It can be a lot, not just, with the tasks, like physically, but also mentally and emotionally. Like it can be a lot. And having a good team can make everything more less heavy on you. Like for example, a leader giving tasks, right? uh, if the followers are following properly whatever tasks they have to do, the deadlines and everything, uh, like the leader is not gonna be stressed about, oh, is this been done on that specific time, because without that you cannot like progress, like things like that. And yeah.
Now, I like your answer, especially when you mentioned the emotional part. There are managers out there for organizations who, in their office, they'll have an employee who comes into their office, closes the door, and starts crying of a personal story or a personal situation. And they have to be very personable to that circumstance, and then give something of a inspirational or something uplifting, so that that employee can leave the office feeling a little better. And when that employee walks out of the office, another employee comes in who is angry, who has a lot more things to say about things going wrong. And then what does that leader have to do? That leader has to find a way to bring that employee into a frame of mind that they can talk to that person with their logic, because their emotion has overtaken. So when it comes to pressure of a leader and the flexibility of a leader, it's a very difficult task to individually have your emotions be able to be that flexible, to switch to that, to keep on point of what to say without getting consumed by the emotions of the other person who's talking to you, and maybe not choose a side, and they have to be very objective. So there's a lot of pressure there for that leader to stay on point, to not be knocked off of their their stance as being the one in charge, right? Chanel, what can you say about why people may not want to be a leader, the challenge of becoming a leader?
Um, the way I see being a leader, I feel like it's a privilege, and you really have to work towards making sure that you embody all the characteristics of someone who's a professional in that area, and someone that can lead by example, pretty much a role model all around, like exactly like what Ariane mentioned and what you mentioned as well, Henry. So on top of the overwhelming responsibilities that is placed on being a leader, there's also the fear that if someone in your team makes a mistake, it's on you as a leader. It's your responsibility, and having to deal with confrontation. Um, and this is also where kind of humility comes in, that although it's not your fault, as a leader, you still have to take responsibility for your team's mistakes. And even though you know you didn't make a mistake, you still have to accept that. And that's kind of hard for a lot of people to admit mistakes or wrongs, especially if it's not their own. Um, and that's where I also learned, in my years of taking care of children. Uh, it gets lonely when you're a leader, and I know that can be very scary because, yeah, it may seem so fun because you get to work with a lot of people and you get to, it looks cool to be a leader, but at the end of the day, it is lonely. You're the only one who knows your team members and their personal life and what's going on, and you can't it's not like you can tell anybody or share the personal lives of your team members, because that's not professional. That's not something you should be doing. So a lot of the times we internalize our own team's emotional burdens on top of their work burdens. So I guess seeing all of that, it can be scary. but that is where confidence comes in. You and I, Henry, you mentioned this earlier that in order to be a leader, you have to know, you have to be a professional at exactly the department that you are leading in. So that way, if any mishaps come, because no matter how hard you plan, something wrong will happen, you will have that creative way to compromise or figure it out. So, really, it's a lot. It's a lot being a leader.
Yes, and what stuck out to me in your response was the privilege aspect, because it's a privilege to be a leader, and although it can be lonely, it can be very heavy to manage the emotions and the project and the accountability, the responsibility. The privilege part also comes with the success, because if you're able to take upon that role and be the difference in everyone's situation, to be a better version of themselves, contribute to something bigger than they are individually, to find that success as a team, as together, as one unit, then it was because of your leadership. It was because of how you were able to talk someone into believing in what they're capable of doing. You were able to inspire someone to, you know, I know you're afraid of this, but why don't you try that? Oh, I know you haven't done that before. This could be a good first time for you to start. Oh, I know you haven't really been able to open up, but this is your chance to see what you're made of. You're able to put people into a place that they have never been able to experience. And the privilege there, I think, is being the difference in someone's life that maybe you never thought you could be that difference, and you're leading them to that possibility. So I think there's privilege of being that stimulus, that motivational person that a person could need. And you don't have to be the leader to do that. You might not have to be the top guy above there. I'm about to go to the next question, but before I go to the next question, I saw a lot of comments come in again, Bill. So I'm gonna go back to you to kind of let our viewers be heard.
I have here Joshua Rubik saying leaders are made, not born. And, that really goes to show that at the end of the day, anyone can be a leader, right? And he also mentioned here practice makes perfect. And he also added follow the leader. You need to learn uh, how to follow before you can lead, like all like what's been mentioned before. um be a servant leader so you can serve the people, then they can follow you. And he also shared a story he also shared here that from a great woman that he knows, he learned that to become a great leader, uh, you must keep all your ducks in a row from the very beginning. So that's really um that's really something that, to keep into account, that at the end of the day, like when you're a leader, there is a lot of pressure, and starting on the right foot really makes a difference. And we have here Ivy saying leadership is difficult because it requires taking full responsibility for outcomes driven by people and circumstances you cannot completely control, like Chanel mentioned earlier. And it is a constant balancing act that demands immense emotional labor, complex decision making, and relentless adaptability in the face of rapid, unpredictable change. And I think we mentioned there earlier about also being the moral support or the emotional support to our team members as well, like when you are a leader. And here, Luzelle Montalvo said, to be an effective leader, you have to be humble. You should know how to inspire and support people to work toward goals. You have to know how to listen and be empathetic, and that really is something that I think we can all agree on, and it is just really important to be there not only because of the role and the goal itself, but also being there for the people that you're working with, and especially those under your care. And Luzelle also added here, you have to see uh, both sides of the coin. As a leader, every situation has nuances carrying both positive and negative side. You must balance, as every leadership style has two sides. and that's true. I think being able to adapt to a certain you know way of leading people, because they respond better to a different I don't know, different tone, different approach. You know, you also need to be able to know your people in that way, Henry.
Yes. Oh, we've been losing track of time, so we're gonna ask this last question really quickly. Uh, Last question for this first part of our conversation is, um, where was it? How do you think a person can be both a leader and a follower at the same time? So let's ask Chanel first this question. How can we be both a leader and a follower at the same time?
Uh, I'm gonna go back to the advice I mentioned earlier that a previous minister had told me a couple years ago, and Cadencel actually mentioned it. He had the exact advice in the comments, and I'm gonna read it out loud again. Um, if you want to lead the people, love the people. If you want to save the people, serve the people. So, being a leader doesn't mean you stop being a follower or you stop being attentive and you stop listening to others. Being a leader, you're constantly serving, taking care of people. Like, if anything, as a leader, you're the one who puts in more work. You're the first to be there, last to leave, usually. So I think in that sense, if you're in the right mindset of being a leader, you're always there taking care of the team, doing what's best for the good of the team.
Yes, I agree. Leader is the one who is doing the best for their team. They love the people, and they are the difference that can make uh, of an awesome team, right? And they're a servant of the people, really. I think there's different types of leadership styles. As for someone who's studying a project management exam as we speak, I have my test in 3 weeks. Uh, there are different leadership styles, and sometimes you have to adjust. I'm quickly reading a comment from Joshua Rubik, because at times to be a good leader, you might have to do the unpopular thing because it is true and right, and you need to have that integrity. Arian, really quick, well, your answer to the question, how can we be a leader and a follower at the same time?
I feel like the flexibility of the qualities that you may need depending on the situation. Like for example, I feel like followers are still leaders in a way. Like you're gonna be your own leader. Uh, they giving you a task, you're gonna be a follower, but you have to be your own leader, meaning you're gonna tell yourself, oh, I'm gonna do this task and I'm gonna lead the part that they entrusted to me, and I'll deliver it. It's gonna be like that. Yes, the flexibility of it, and knowing how to adjust, um, because sometimes you cannot just be stuck on something that you're used to, but you just have to adjust in order to make it work for that specific part.
No, that totally makes sense to be flexible and to be adjusted and to lead yourself. And you said in our kickoff chat earlier that sometimes you might be that middle manager who has people. You have people that you manage, but you report to somebody else. So you are a leader and a follower at the same time when you're leading a team, but you're also following someone who has a bigger vision for a company, for your organization, for a hospital, or something that is bigger, that has a mission and a vision that needs to be completed. Um, so definitely, for me, we can be both a leader and a follower at the same time, because, like you said, we're leading ourselves. But all in all, everything is an experience. Whether you're a member of the team or the one leading the team, you're gonna make mistakes. You can't be perfect. You're not perfect. And when you hold yourself to such a standard of perfection that you cannot have any error, then that can also be unrealistic. Yes, you will try your best. Yes, you'll try not to leave any stone unturned. But at the same time, when those things happen, we recover. We stay flexible. We don't get emotional and be too hard on ourselves that the other team starts to notice that negativity you may place upon yourself. But positivity, which is going to be the next part of our conversation, is to be positive, and that is the setting the tone for the team. That no matter what you go through, if you're positive, you can actually still be okay. Um, Belle, why don't you lead us with the last of the comments as we take our song break?
Um, I think everything has been mentioned so far, and uh, Joshua Rubik said here at the same time with understanding and enthusiasm. And I think that, yes, when you are a leader, you are a follower as well, because what you implement for the team, you also have to be able to follow. And you have to practice what you preach as well. And I think that's been reiterated like throughout this first part of our discussion for today. But not to worry, um, it is still Faith and Melody after all. So we were gonna play another song for you, which will be "I Run to You," and we'll be right back. Unless Kuya Henry wants to sing instead for us, we wouldn't
I will
mind.
I will sing on another day. But yes, as Kuya Tech gets the song ready, for all of our viewers, please continue to participate in our live chat. Send your greetings to each other. Our next song we're listening to is "I Run to You." We'll be right back.
I see another person joining us today, which is Alex Ariola saying greetings, brethren from Orange County, California. So thank you so much for joining us today. And Luzelle here said, I think without loving connection, warmth, and empathy, and genuine care for your team's well-being, um, yeah, I think that's just really important to have those things. Um, for your team. And she also said here that it is a great topic and to have a great week as well. So thank you so much, Lizelle, for joining us today. But yes, for our Ohana who is still there, please just bear with us as we will continue on with our topic right after I run to you.
This world is growing colder, numb to the news, chaos and disorder. What else is left to lose? But I'll never have to worry, I'll never be afraid, 'cause I'm safe, I'm safe with you. I run to you, I run to you, my Father, my protector, my refuge, my shelter. I'm running straight, I'm running straight, I run to you. If the world keeps spinning, spinning out of control, I'll never let go. I'll hold you as close. I'll run full speed ahead. The world can't stop me now, for I'm yours. I'm yours. So I run to you. I run to you. I run to you. I run to you. my shelter. I'm running straight. I'm running straight. I run to you. Even if my knees grow weary, I'll keep running toward you. Even if the world comes crumbling down, I'll stand my ground and look up to you. And look up to you. Oh. My Father, my protector, my refuge, my shelter. I'm running straight. I'm running straight. I run to you.
We mentioned about, the various sides of being a leader and being a team member as well. And with that said, those working alongside team members have a common goal. When you're a team, you have one goal, right? And when new teams form, team members get to know each other, and this learning process is not always as smooth as we would like it to be. And we all are different people, right? We all are different with different experiences and different personalities, but we always have to find a way to work together. And with that said, what are some ways to maintain that positivity when communicating and working with the members of your team? Let's start off with Ariane.
I feel like effective communication between the team, that's one of the good ways for team members to always be on the same page. For example, like updating each other on where they're at, like with tasks given or deadlines, and if they have any issues, instead of not telling people or letting the other team members know, um, they like instead of like not telling, you tell them in a way where uh, you explain why that might have happened, so that they are able to help out in a proper manner. But also, um I feel like having a good team makes things easier in the first place. If you guys are on the same page, meaning you respect each other, you understand each other, you're open on different perspectives, and you're not just stuck on what you think it's best, then that's when things can work like a puzzle where you're gonna find pieces and put it all together to, have the, like, you being able to get to the goal that you guys are working for. But yeah, that's why, like, with my team, for example, uh we have this way of communicating, like through group chats, but also in person. We would just mention things, so that we would remind each other, because sometimes being accountable of what other people have to do, or like what you have to do, sometimes it's a good way to just have the balance within the team.
Yes, and I think looking out for one another is really important when you're in a team, whether you're a leader or a team member. At the end of the day, being part of a team, you are kind of, you are working as one. So, if something goes wrong on one side, then that'll affect the whole team and the whole outcome, right? And I think to maintain that positivity when communicating, I agree with you about the respect. There needs to be mutual respect, and know and know when to, have uh like have those serious conversations, and knowing when you can joke around as well. I think setting those boundaries, setting the dynamics, when you know it's right, um, that'll help in creating that communication and not drawing back from each other, because sometimes when something goes wrong you're afraid to speak up, right? um, and because that'll affect not only you but also the whole team. So when it comes to that, also having the patience for one another, and keeping each other accountable, and like keeping each other grounded on what you need to do. So I like that you've shared that in your team, you guys communicate in a way where you also remind each other, especially on, like on really hectic days. And when you're a team, there will be days where it's going to be very hectic. And with that said, Chanel, do you have anything that you would like to add on to that?
Yeah, I think you just have to really have fun with it. Life is hard as is, so it's okay to, make have some jokes with each other, even inside jokes. When you're working with the team, it just makes the time go by faster, and it's just a nice little way of bonding. Of course, again, you guys mentioned boundaries and respect. So as a team member, you already know like what not to say and what jokes might be too far. But again, just have fun with it. If you really know your people around you, you guys know how to communicate well. I think some things that I've done with my team to help us bond together is we just have our own hangouts, and I even made a little game, and I added random fun facts about the team members, and they had to guess like, oh, which person really likes dinosaurs in our team, like as an example. So that way we can get to know each other, and already from just that hangout alone, we already have our own inside jokes. So there's also the saying that like if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. So really, if you really love it, it's easy to have fun. And yes, there'll be days that are hard. Maybe you might not love it in the beginning, but if you just really work towards finding that positivity, and really leaning into it, just open your heart and your mind to all the goodness that can come from the work that you do. Um, it'll come easily.
Yes, and I love that. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day. I feel like that really is the goal. Like, not only regarding work related stuff, but anything that you are trying to accomplish, right? um Being able to see the positive side of things no matter how hard it gets, that is really something that, wow. I really love that. Thank you for sharing that, Chanel. And Henry, is there anything that you would like to share with us? And also, I think there's a few comments there as well.
Yes, as I organize these comments, I will also share my own answer to the question of, when you remain positive, uh, when you're positive, it gives a type of energy that you can't not smile. If you're always smiling, no matter how negative it is, it makes the situation so much lighter because, like Chanel said, life is hard already, and when you go through projects and you put so much negativity on that project, then that just becomes heavy. And nobody wants to carry any more weight than they already have on their shoulders with life in itself. And so, positivity when communicating, no matter what the circumstance or situation is, no matter how serious the issue is, if you still have an uplifting tone and a smile to your face when you're communicating, it just makes the load so much lighter. It actually makes it more fun. Even if the issue can be somewhat serious, if you have a leader who presents it in a challenging, uh, almost like a, ooh, let's overcome this together, like in a much more motivational way, then it doesn't seem so hard. It actually seems more of like a game that you're playing. Um, and when you pass the game, like, you all celebrate together, and it becomes fun. It's positivity can do so much. Um, some comments I'm seeing is that from RJ, brother RJ in Stuttgart, he says, "Be respectful and polite. Use kind words such as please, thank you, and a good job." And you'd be surprised how many people forget some simple things. Please, thank you, and good job. Acknowledging someone when you take the effort to say those simple words, it can be very intentional to the individual receiving it to say, okay, I've been acknowledged, I feel included, and I feel appreciated. My wife, Rachel Nasencio, says actively listening, keeping a positive focus, integrity, and support one another, working in unity. And someone who joined our chat, Dominic Santos, from the local of Liboro, district of Naga City, Camarines Sur. Magandang umaga po. Thank you for joining us this evening in our broadcast. That's all the comments we have so far for now, Belle.
Thank you, Henry. And I love that we've been reminded about please, thank you, and well done, and good job. That really makes a difference because, as we mentioned earlier, right, the process of things is also as important as the outcome. And it's always a learning experience, right? And being able to coexist with your colleagues or workmates or team members, it's also something that we need to be able to navigate through. And those simple words really make the difference. So I really love that. It's true. Like being able to respect one another and also acknowledge each other's work. And with that said, when problems or disagreements occur in a certain project or team project, how would you navigate towards finding a resolution, Chanel?
Yeah, first off, I would hear both sides first. Um, and based on their responses, I learned not to tune into the more emotional side of me. I have to answer logically and also kind of talk them through it. Whenever people are emotional or whenever they have a disagreement, you kind of have to talk them through it like a child to help them navigate their feelings. And that's why clear communication is so important, especially during disagreements or any issues that happen. So um, as soon as I figure out what's the issue, talk them through it. And then this is where I also discussed you have to be creative with compromise. So, with that in mind, I figure out a way that can work best for everyone. And sometimes not everyone will be happy, but again, that's why I said you have to find the best way that you can. And knowing that as a leader, of course, you're not going to be perfect all the time, but what matters is that you do your best and that you stay level headed throughout the whole thing. Like, there's no taking sides here. Again, you have to remain professional no matter what you do, and remind each other that you all have the same goal. Let's aim for that, let's accomplish that, and set that aside.
I love that. being able to be neutral, but also being able to, understand each other with that. And having an open ear and an open mind when it comes to disagreements, it is something that uh, is hard sometimes as human beings, because um, we tend to, just like um, assume things, or jumping to conclusions. So yes, I think that when it comes to navigating through to go towards a solution, like being respectful, and not trying not to be condescending, is also really helpful. And Arian, since you've mentioned, communicating with your colleagues as well, like how do you navigate through those disagreements if it does occur?
I feel like sometimes um, when things get heated or everything gets like there's like an issue, let's say, instead of pointing onto people, oh, it's you, who was it, da 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 da. Instead of doing that, we try to like find a problem first, understand what's actually going on, and then from there trying to find a solution together. So suggesting what could be done to make things better, and also yes, like not being biased on whatever parties are in it, but it's more on you just working on the problem itself. And like the being understanding and seeing both point of views, because sometimes if you think about it, maybe they're both right, like the parties are right, but it's more on how how you handle it, like the tone of how you trying to solve it, that's gonna make difference. Sometimes like let's say there's two people arguing in the room, like in the back of the practice or at the reception, like and instead of like putting more pressure on the situation, like, oh, what's going on, and then like trying to take sides, no, like that shouldn't be the way. um you should be the one trying to be the calm version of the situation. So you should try to tone things down, instead of like screaming or saying things, yeah, like con sorry, my pronunciation, but like in a positive way, like trying to move that specific moment in a positive way, where we we try to calm down, but also uh instead of going against each other, we just go against the problem, like, you get me?
Yeah, like it's not you versus me, it's us against the problem.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think it's not only a leadership thing, it's also like when you are, like, for example, what if your manager's not there, right? And it's just like it's just like the team members in that case. It's just really important to, you know as you mentioned earlier, like try to be uh the calm uh, the calm in the storm, you know and when it comes to disagreements, it's always heated at first, especially if it's just really hectic as well, and there's a lot of pressure. But at the end of the day, um it's when once you find that solution, the respect should always remain. um there needs to be not only resolution, but also reconciliation, because you're still going to work with them. You still have to uh manage them, or you still have to, like, help out each other. So that's why I think it's human to feel negative sometimes, but um once you have passed that tough moment, you're gonna be able to break through if you look at the brighter side of things, and you forgive each other as well if there has been some heated moments. And with that said, how important is perspective when working with different types of people, Chanel?
Oh, it's so important to have perspective. Again, like one of the traits that not just our listeners and viewers mentioned, but even the panelists mentioned, you have to be understanding, you have to be empathetic. And again, if you're working in a team, there's people with different personalities, different walks of life. You don't know what they're going through. At the end of the day, if you are in a leadership position, like you said, Belle, you are the one that sets the tone. So, really, if no matter what emotions are coming at you or what emotions or tension you're noticing in the group, you have to be the level-headed one, but you also have to have the perspective or perceptive, and also what do you call that, you have to observe how the situation is going, because obviously if there's an issue going and you don't see that, of course the situation will continue to escalate. So you'll have to be there quickly to nip it in the bud. And again, you it's so important as a leader to take notice of what's going on around you, and you have to care. If you want something to get fixed or something to change, you'll have to care, genuinely care, in order to come to a conclusion, come to a resolution with one another.
Yes. um, Having that empathy uh, towards one another really makes a difference. And that also leads you to, be able to resolve more quickly, right? Because maybe once there's like a misunderstanding, we only know like 99% of what happened, right? And that 1% could flip the whole situation from your perspective. And I think also being able to give the benefit of the doubt uh, when it comes to those situations, um, it is also really important, being able to do such thing, because uh, once you're in a team, uh, what you would like to do is, look towards the well-being of the team and towards the goal itself, right? So no one really wants to mess that up in the first place. So mistakes can happen, and that's just normal. And trying to, uh, ease uh, ease the weight and ease the problem by carrying it all together and trying, to navigate through that, is something that, once you have that type of mentality where, okay, that happened, how can we fix it? Like what Arian mentioned earlier, right? Instead of just pointing fingers at each other and avoiding accountability, sometimes, it happens. It's just a matter of, okay, we don't have time for this, we need to get this done. you know and perspective um really shifts things, and it leads you, and it leads the team in a better place, in a more on a more mature ground, when you are able to, you know not disregard the problem, because that's different. That's completely different from, being able to, you know shift your mentality to a more positive one. So yes, of course, like you cannot avoid a problem, because when it comes to that, especially in a team, it might grow even bigger or deeper the more you leave it. So that's completely different. But in terms of perspective, that really changes things up. It makes you see things in a different way, where things could actually work out. So yes, I think perspective is really important when it comes to that. Erin, do you have anything else to add? I think you've had a lot of experience of that.
I feel like with perspectives, it's also how you handle the situation, because with the perspectives, you can turn things around. Instead, like it's always between the two, and the way you handle it, it's gonna help the actual situation to not progress at all. because sometimes it's also uh let's say when everything starts calming down, sometimes, you know, when everything is heated, no one is listening anymore, they don't want to hear the different parts of what actually happened. So sometimes you just need a bit of time to just calm down, to, you know, breathe a second, and then from there to see the situation maybe in a different way, because sometimes it's not okay that deep. Like, I don't want to say it because maybe it is deep, but like, if it's not, it's people might argue about small things that could have been avoided just because of misunderstandings, or like miscommunications, or, you know, not effective type of um you working with a team. So I feel like everything is connected, within followers, within leaders, within the whole team. Like, everyone has a part in it, because also all of us have different perspectives on it. But putting all those perspectives together can then create, you know, the good outcome.
I love that. Everything is indeed connected because when you are in a team, everything that happens within the team affects one another. So, with that said, I think, yes, perspective really helps when it comes to resolving and, seeing things. Seeing things in a way that we can make it work, right, Henry?
Yeah, perspective can be all the difference in making someone feel part of the team and acknowledging them and making sure that, everyone wants to feel like they belong to something. And when we alter our perspective to only see what's in our eyes and not what's in the other person's eyes, then there is going to be a problem or potential problem with disconnect and dysfunction. So when you deal with perspective and different types of people, and there are, in my studies for project management, there are 5 stages of team building. It is forming, storming, norming, performing, and a journey. So this is me getting ready for my test. Uh, and with all of these things, the potential problems usually happens in the storming phase, right? When you're forming, you're saying hi, hello, how are you, getting to know each other. But when you're storming, that's when the conflict occurs. That's when the personalities clash. That's when the getting to know, oh, this is not something that you like to hear. Maybe I have to change the word choice that I do. Maybe I change the tone that I do. I have to make a different approach. And then when you learn the different personality aspects of other people, then you start to normalize. It's called norming because you're finding that common ground. And then when you're performing, that's when everything comes together and you're building a bigger, better project or deliverable. And then when it's all said and done in the adjourning phase, you can all look at the project and say, you know what? This was a journey. This was hard. There were ups and downs, there were good and bad, but we completed the project. And we are all different people, but we made one common success story, victory. I tried to end that very nicely, but I couldn't we'll come up with the ending. Anyway, that being said, yes, perspective is very important in uh, how we work together. Now, time went by so quickly that we are at the end of our discussion, so we're gonna have to skip towards the end, and we just ask one question because in Faith and Melody, we always end with our spirituality in mind, our faith. Because whether in thought, word, or actions, we need to uphold our spiritual values, which includes upholding the love of brotherhood and treating our neighbors the way we wish to be treated. So, we talked about positivity. We talked about trying to your best to keep in mind the other person's perspective, keeping in mind maybe their experiences and maybe things that we can maybe adjust to them while they also adjust to us. Whether you're a leader or a member of the team, there's some flexibility, like some of our panelists have mentioned, that we have to always try to see on the positive side of things. And in the positive side of things, as members of the Church of Christ, we should always uphold our spiritual values. And so, whether you're introverted, extroverted, we need to stand up for our faith. We need to be true to our role as members of the Church of Christ. So, whether you are a leader or a follower or a team member, why should we not be shy when it comes to our faith and upholding our values? As members of the Church of Christ, we have values of ensuring that we treat our brothers and sisters, our neighbors, with a certain kind of respect, the same kind of respect that we would want them to treat us. So, in a situation of whatever role you are, why should we not be shy when it comes to upholding our faith and upholding our values? So, I'm going to ask that to Chanel first.
That is such a great question, Henry and Belle. um, I think we shouldn't be shy of our faith in anything that we do when it comes to work or school, especially more if you're in a leadership position, because all of the traits, the characteristics that we discussed in today's show are the same traits and qualities that has been taught to us as members of the Church of Christ. That and even more. And so it's inevitable that we'll be spending time outside of church with different types of people. People that may not even know about our faith or may not even understand. But I think that in whatever position we have, we must continue to be strong in our qualities and be strong in knowing who we are, that regardless of the position that we have in life, we are members of the Church of Christ. And in doing all the all the things that we need to do, especially when it comes to sharing our faith, being respectful, being kind, um, I think that's how we can shine as lights in this world. And we're taught that we are lights in this world because we are God's servants, and that we should continue um, to share about it. Like, because there's nothing negative when it comes to sharing our faith. Like, we're really upholding the best qualities we can, in taking care of other people, and showing respect to our leaders as well. So, it's something to be proud of, not something to be shy or ashamed about. And I think if we continue to keep practicing, keep putting that in practice, being humble at all times, and having the mindset that we should be proud of our faith and how we lead our life, um, you'll have the confidence. The confidence will come to you, and of course, trusting in God, knowing that God will be there to guide you, in anything that you do.
Very well said, Chanel. I can't say anything more to that. So I will shift the question a little bit to Arian. Arian, how do you maintain your integrity, no matter what role you are? Keeping in mind we're members of the Church of Christ and you're an active officer yourself, how do you maintain your integrity, no matter what role you are in, leader or a member of the team?
I feel like no matter where you are, what you're doing, and who you're with, no matter the circumstances, you're still gonna do what's right and what's good, before God's sight. So you're not gonna be tempted by doing what's wrong or act differently just because of the situation, but all the more you're standing your ground, and like with your faith as well as your membership, you use that as your guide and shield onto the things that might be coming your way.
Yes, definitely by upholding God's words as armor of our faith and, you know, being proud, a proud member of the Church of Christ. No matter what role you are, and exactly what you said, no matter what situation may come along the way, you stay true to your calling. And I think that's the role that we were made for, is to be true to our calling, no matter what role that is. Whether it be someone uh, who is a member of a team of those who are singing, for example, or you're the one leading them in the singing, or maybe you're the one who is providing advice to those who need it, those who oversee, those who need to be overseen, and those who need to be guided, because sometimes they forget, or sometimes they just need inspiration. And the role that you were made for, you're shaped by this, by your past experiences, because for one thing, no one is perfect. In our Christian value today, no one is perfect. We are shaped by our past experiences, and we have been forged into becoming someone with something unique to offer. Having understanding towards one another before, during, and after working with any team is important, because we are all different people. When various issues or disagreements arise, and these will happen, staying positive from the beginning to the end allows us to focus on finding solutions rather than dwelling on the problems. And true Christians have been taught to treat others the same way they wish to be treated. And when we communicate, we must always communicate with love in mind. So, as we always end the show, we always listen to our verse of the week. And so, as Kuyatek is preparing that, our verse of the week that we'll be watching deals with communication. And so, our verse of the week for today is entitled "How to Communicate Better in a Relationship." Let's listen.
Do you want to improve your relationship with your loved ones? The Bible teaches us what we should remember to have better communication with those in our lives. Hi, I'm Brother Charlton Eric Flores, and that's what I will share with you today in this verse of the week, here in Colossians chapter 4, verse 6. Let your conversation be gracious and attractive, so that you will have the right response for everyone. So you see, we need to be gracious in our conversations with others. That means when we speak to our family and friends, or even complete strangers, our tone should be pleasant and we should speak with kindness. Of course, we should also do our best to stay focused and fully present when we're having a conversation with someone. This is how we can maintain a good rapport with the people in our lives and improve our relationships. Being respectful is also needed to have a pleasant conversation. So let's be respectful to everyone we speak to, especially our elders. We hope you've gained wisdom and inspiration from this verse of the week. And if you know someone who could benefit from this episode, please share this short video with them. This is our verse of the week. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay faithful. God bless.
Thank you to Brother Charlton Eric for that inspiring message to take with us for the week ahead. And yes, unfortunately, this is the end of our discussion for today and of our show for today. But we want to thank everyone who is able to join us and share their inspiring insights. We really truly took them uh, into account. And also, happy anniversary again to Henry and Rachel. And also, thank you to everyone who was able to join us today, Arian and Chanel. And thank you to also our Korea Tech there in the Philippines. Thank you, Henry, for always being there to host with me. And yes, also thank you to my family. Shout out to them. But what about you, Arian?
I want to shout out everyone I know. Sorry. Because I didn't prepare myself like mentally, so hi everyone.
It's okay.
Thank you for
Um,
having me today as well.
thank you for being here. And also, happy birthday to brother Romel San Pedro. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Bo. And yes, Chanel, what about you? Do you have any greetings?
Yes, shout out to Kadencel and Kaadera Malapit. Thank you guys so much for listening to our show today. My BFFs from across the world.
Oh, thank you so much, Chanel, for that and for being here. And Henry, last but not the least, do you have any greetings?
Shout out to my Central Europe family, Ka RJ, Ka Josh, all those who are in Europe, Atelat, who are joining us. Thank you for tuning into Faith and Melody from Central European Standard Time, where you can also join CEU Connections every Sunday at 6 p.m. or no, 8 p.m. Central European Summer Time. So how we promote Faith and Melody there and promoting CEU Connections here. But shout out to everyone for joining us today in our episode talking about leadership, the role you were made for. Once again, thank you everyone for joining us. I'm Henry here in Germany.
And I'm Belle here in the United Kingdom, and we have been your host for today. And we hope that today's episode has given you that extra positivity to start your week ahead. And to close off today's show, we will be listening to Give Thanks. Join us again on the next episode of Faith and Melody for the rest of the week. Thank you so much, everyone. Ciao. Take care.
Aloha. Tschüss.
There are times when I think about my life. I've gone through tribulations and a lot of strife, but the Father helped me through it all. And whenever I wake up in the morning, wake up to a cloudy day, He uses power to chase the clouds away. That's why I give thanks every day, every day. I'm saying give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks to the Lord. God knows what I need before I pray, so all the more I ought to live righteously. I'll never let my faith be in vain. No. Nothing is impossible, for the Lord is by my side. He's my inspiration every day from day to night. I'm giving thanks, and the Father's a reason why. I'm saying give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks to the Lord. I'm saying give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks to the Lord. I have just one wish, and that's to be in heaven, receive eternal life and His eternal blessings. Cause we were chosen to someday live eternally. Give thanks for our Father so kind and caring. I might be weak, but spiritually I'm strong. The Father gives me strength to keep me moving on. It's gratitude for Him being with me while I am living. I'ma set aside my offering and offer Him thanksgiving.